Good morning. Can we hear me now? Do we have audio? Looking for a response about audio. That sounds wonderful. Great. Well, we're going to start the show. All right. Well, no music today. Welcome to Free Big Drum Bear Radio. I'm your host, Stefan Drumbear, and today we're changing the tone of the show to be much more serious and talk about things that I hate, like socialism. And I think the show's been a bit retooled now. Just a pasty white background, like my pasty white patriarchal self, which is obviously not true. My accent seems to be from a myriad of different places. My family's from Ireland and came to Canada later. And here I am to sit in front of a white background and talk to you. That's my horrible attempt at a Stefan Molyneux impersonation. Mostly because I've got like the baldness going on, and I decided to shift over here to the white background, and I've got 3-point lighting and all that jazz going on. I usually have 3-point lighting, but it's not spread out as nicely as it is today. So hopefully you have a better image quality as well. Got a question for you. Do you hear me better this way, or is it a different sound this way? Does it sound the same here and here, or does it sound different? Because I've got 2 microphones and both are functioning. But honestly, I'd like to kill the one. Hey, there's best answers. People are just rolling back in. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so this is probably not even working. I've still got to work through this. I'm working a step at a time to improve the quality of the stream here, and it's worthwhile to work through some of these issues. Is this a hearing test? Oh man, not so much. Yes, I wanted to see if you could hear my tiny volume from before that was almost not there. Well, then this is silly. If it sounds the same, I'm just going to do this. And then I really like Stefan Molyneux, right? It's the same either way, in that case. Oh, it is better with the mic in front. Oh, someone was saying it wasn't. Well, shoot. I'm going to put the mic back then. If the mic's working, then that means my efforts have not been in vain. Hey, that's cool. So that means this is working. I love it. I was about to ditch it and be like, fudging, mo flippity flat fudge. That's my cursing right there. Actually, that's my personal entertainment cursing. Yes. Man, for radio. Just scrap the 3-point line. It'd be better with the audio off. We could just go back to this screen, and then that'd be fine. Then everybody'd be good, right? No, I'm teasing. You might know a thing. Well, and maybe I'll talk to you on my phone later on, Steve, and see if we can look at this board and figure out. The next step for me is to get my my phone plugged in. So I've got this little connection, and it's plugged into the soundboard down here. I should be able to shunt in audio from my phone, and mix it into the show. But get right up on the mic. Yeah, I'm right up on that mic. If I'm back here, it's too quiet. Obviously, so I got to be right up all on that mic. I gotta get kind of inappropriate with it. Yeah, and I have some. I've got that mic turned up a decent chunk too. So, and there we are. That's great, man. That's great. Love it. Now all I gotta do is figure out how to get the audio working from the phone, and then we'll really be in business. But at any rate, I'm not gonna do a super long show since I've wasted all that time trying to get started. We'll just do a shorter one because people need to get on with their lives. Sibilance testing. Sibilance. Yes, that's very important. You're right, Mayor. I believe, I'm told that, was it Wayne's World 2? It was the sound check guy there was supposed to be Tom Hanks popping in there. At any rate. Well, I have things that I should accomplish. I've heard it. I don't know whether it was actually true or not. But I know he did it. Yeah, he did a Wayne's World skit with Aerosmith and stuff. So it wouldn't shock me if he was there. I mean, that would be appropriate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Andrew J. confirms. Very nice. That's funny. All right. So, yeah, I had the wonderful, joyous opportunity to help my my oldest son celebrate his birthday a little early, a few days early. He's not going to be with me on the actual day. I'll be busy with other duties that I have to perform. Excuse me. But let's see here. Yeah. So my beautiful lady put together a nice cake for him. And both my two older sons and she and I enjoyed some of that last night, along with nice dinner, turkey burgers. It was good stuff. And then after that, I drove them about a half hour away from here, and we went to this spot where it's a bowling alley, but they also have a laser tag gym in there. And we got rocking with some laser tag, and that was a lot of fun. They've never done that, to the best of my knowledge. And I got my run for my money, like very literally. Yeah, it wasn't uber expensive, but you know, we're definitely on tighter budgets around here. So I knew it was definitely worth it for him. You know, we did a couple sessions in there, like 12-minute sessions, but it was so good. It was so good. I was running all over the place, trying to duck out, hide from him, and it's so funny. I ended up losing, right, which is the funniest part of the whole darn thing. Yeah, I ended up getting my butt kicked somehow. Kick it. No, they. Let's see now. We ran around all over this set of maze and different panels and stuff all put up, and of course they've got black lights in there, and it's supposed to sort of disorient you, some lasers and things like that. But we had these vests on that had all the sensors, and then strapped to that was the laser rifle. So we're running around doing that business, and scoot my chair back a little bit. I've got knowledge of tactics and strategy to try and keep both of them in view. You know, kind of have an idea of where they're at, listen for where they're at, try not to let them know where I'm at when I can help it, and snipe them and all that kind of thing. And I got some good ones in, but somehow, time after time, and don't start singing it, please. I would go out. I'd get at my oldest, right? I'd get him right in my sights, and I know I'd shoot at him, but his vest wouldn't go off. And then he'd be firing right back at me. My vest would go off. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I know I shot at him. I know I got him. I don't know. I'm thinking his vest was screwy, and so he ended up getting a way better score on some of those things than I did. But ultimately, it was my second son who kicked it in that one. Jack was awesome. He rocked that. He took all of us out numerous times, and I'm still trying to figure out how that's possible, because I know I shot his vest numerous times. Numerous times I got him, but yeah, apparently they both got me a lot more than I thought. So I had this theory though, and I think that maybe we don't know exactly how many shots all of us got, because the screen that we could see in the foyer area before you go into the actual laser tag gym had I wonder if it hadn't been reset for our session and it still had scores up. Like on vests that we weren't using, sometimes the scores were still set on some of those vests. Like that process hadn't been reset, so it's possible that that happened before. This is my theory to make myself feel better, that I didn't get walloped by both my teenage boys. Let's see here. You say go slow. You guys are rocking the daggone song. Yeah. Okay, best answers is talking about the old laser tag kits. I used to have one from the 80s, or no, it was actually a good friend of mine's, and he would bring it over a lot. And it was like the one of the earlier ones had the big red circular thing that you have to strap around your chest, or hang around your neck and strap around your chest, and that was like a sensor there. And sometimes if you really wanted to get into it, you could get a helmet, and that had a sensor on it. I think they even had a vest that you could take the little sensor thing and Velcro it to. Like Miles Gear. That was something else. That was laser tag on steroids right there. And now with simunitions rounds, you don't even have to worry about laser tag. You can actually get hit by you can get hit by an actual paint bullet, which stinks. Those are not fun. But yeah, so within less than half the time of the first session, I was pouring buckets of sweat. My shirt, because this was the shirt I wore just last night. I took a shower later in the afternoon, and this was the shirt I ended up wearing to bed. But I was like soaked. I was soaked, within 15 minutes. And, or less than 15, excuse me. And I was running all over the place trying to keep out of their sights and stuff. But it was worth it. They had a ton of fun. So that was cool. I enjoyed being able to share that with them. So it was interesting. I learned some things about what they're both capable of. They're both really smart. I mean, it's not like I didn't know this, but the older they get, the more they demonstrate that to me, that they're really, really smart. They can think, and they know how to team up and work together. They got me more than once, where one of them was distracting me from one end, and then the other comes around and gets me from behind, So, yeah, they totally teamed up on me throughout that whole thing. I'm like, you guys can go against each other. It's like every man for himself is the goal. No, they were just going after me. Yeah, it was fun. It was a blast, man. And it was definitely humbling when I'm like, what the fudge, man? How did I end up with the lowest score? So I'd love to know what the scores actually were, right? I have to go to another one that's got the system set up properly so we can know for sure, like, who's got the skills. Yeah. Show the respect. Yeah, right. I don't know, they could be. They very well could be. Hey, David. Good morning. Glad to have you here. They could be chips off the old block. I hope that they are in the positive ways, right? I know my oldest son, when we went down to my folks for vacation in Texas, everybody, and I mean everybody, was constantly telling him how he was the spitting image of his dad. I mean, he must have heard that, I don't know, a couple dozen times during that week. That's funny, kick you. I know, that's how I felt. Kick you. I'm like, come on, man, I gotta do this legit. But I'd say we all did respectably. I think we all did a good job in there. We all definitely got some good shots off. I know my second son Jack, he was sitting in there, and like he'd hide in a corner for a while, and just you kind of couldn't see him from where he was at, and then he'd wait till you passed by and snipe him. You know, and another thing he was trying to do, but we kind of said, no, we're not gonna make this allowed here, is like shoot you, right, and then follow you until your vest was active again. And the second it became active, he tried to shoot you again. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. As soon as you shoot somebody, you got to scatter. You're not going to follow them around and constantly just do that. Like, that's not cool. Like, I can't outrun them the whole time. That's just not an option. But maybe we should allow that. I mean, maybe we should say, hey, you know, if someone's trying to get you, you need to learn how to get away from them, you know. Got to learn how to take them on. Find ways, because that's how it'd be in real life. If someone was coming at you, they're not going to back off just because they hit you once. That's not what's going to go down. So maybe it would be worthwhile. Caps and vocal sound effects. Yeah, for sure. What? Mr. Nicktown? Welcome, by the way. If you don't like this stream, oh, you're telling people to go put likes in. I get it. That's funny. That's kind of like a shirt idea that is going to be coming between myself and Mr. Steve Pinder 1911 Bear. Love Chunk or You're a Commie. I think that's fixing to come up fairly soon, and I'm encouraged by some of the things that Steve has talked about in relationship to that. That sounds like it's going to be cool. So just checking some things out to see where we're at here. All right. Oh, good. Who shot you in the eye with a BB gun? Some jerk? I'm sorry to hear that, kick you. That's not right. Let's see here. So, yeah, I had something on the other chat. That's what I wanted to make note of. Your little uncle. You got an uncle that's younger than you. That's kind of funny. Or is he just shorter than you? Yeah, those situations always kind of crack me up when people had like aunts or uncles that were younger than them. It's like, I mean, it makes sense. It can happen. It's just kind of funny. Let's see here. I've got to bring up this real quick. I need to bring up a link, and I could ask one of y'all to do it. It might be helpful or more helpful. Could somebody, because my system is going to get real slow if I try to do it right now. In fact, I'm just going to close that window because I think it's going to make the stream get slow. So I'm not going to do that. Would somebody please toss a link to Tyler Vetbear's channel into the chat here? I don't know if Tyler's even with us this morning or not, but he's got a video scheduled for tonight at I think 7 p.m. my time. Could be 5 p.m. his time. I'm not sure. Might be 7 his time, in fact. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, be sure to, somebody, if they can, throw up a link to Tyler's channel in here. And everybody, if you haven't already gone there and subscribed and liked, also go and leave him, thank you very much, Kikya. Go leave him like some comments on videos, or some other things to say, you know, what, if you've liked his videos or any of his videos at any time, share what you think you've liked about him, and talk about whatever contribution you think he's made to the community. I think that would be useful. I know he got a hold of me the other day, and we were talking about some different things, so I won't go into all that, but I will say definitely show some bear love for Tyler right now. I think that'd be useful. But yeah, definitely let him know how he's been a positive contributing factor to the Bears. I've enjoyed having him around and some of the stuff he's talked about in his streams. Let's see. Well, let's see now. That's important. What else did I say I was going to talk to y'all about today? Oh, yeah, so Steve's show last night was great. Good job, Steve. Well done, sir. So I'm flying right through the stuff I wanted to talk about. So on Steve's stream last night, he was talking about patriotism, for those that caught that. Excuse me, I had to practicing the go away from the mic to belch. But if I have two mics, it's going to hear me anyway, so it's kind of frustrating. Mr. Nicktown. Yeah, he's got a very cool. That's true. Tyler Betbear has a very cool. Did I lose anybody? I know the stream went red for a moment. Tyler's a very cool, like chill vibe to him in general. You know, he's just a more relaxed person, or at least in the way that he comes across. I don't know. It's enjoyable to be around. I think I like that kind of air, and he's trying to keep himself nice and chill by doing the ducks. You know, even though ducks are horrifically violent creatures. Maybe he's raising them in a non-violent way. That's good, you know, or helping them to be less violent. That's a good thing. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, there's a whole lot of just awful, non-consensual sex in the duck community. Yes, it's ridiculous. And I know Owen's talked about that in one of his comedy bits about ducks, and they're pretty rough. Yeah, chickens could be nasty as well. He feeds them soy. Does he feed the chickens soy and the cockadoodle-doos fall off? Is that what happens? That's a pretty bad joke. But I thought it was funny. So, yeah, if none of you have ever heard of this comedian, I don't know if you call him a comedian or whatnot, and he ended up becoming like vice president of BuzzFeed, so I can't say I'm the hugest fan, but I enjoyed some of his earlier videos. He went by the screen name, excuse me, Zayfrank1 on YouTube. Still, his channel's still out there, and I think he restarted doing some of these like true facts about certain animals. Hey, that's awesome, man. Your phone found my show from your back pocket. That's awesome. Harold's back up in here. Good deal. Good morning, Harold Green. That's pretty darn funny. Zay Frank has true facts about different types of animals, and he does have some background in like biology, and he takes some viewpoints on things that I would say I disagree with, but still some of the videos and the way he put them together were kind of interesting and amusing. I guess he had one about ducks and went into some of the specifics about the construction of both the male and female ducks' reproductive organs, and some sort of basically like a war that's going on between males and females within the duck community, because there's so much forcible non-consensual sex within the duck community. It's pretty rough. So yeah, the female duck has learned to adapt, I guess, in a sense, to this problem by having a cavity that creates false paths and mazes and things like that to prevent being inseminated by a duck she doesn't want to mate with. And at the same time, the male duck has also evolved his masculinity to adapt to this. I guess I wouldn't believe that it's evolved myself, but I think that I do believe in evolution in terms of adaptations, smaller adaptations within an environment, right? Adaptation to change, right? That's certainly something that we see. And so I see that happening, I guess, to some degree. I don't think that ducks probably started out where there was some sort of war to prevent, these things happening between the reproductive organs of the animals. But it is yes, exactly, Kik. Yeah, that's what it is within the duck community. Quite rapey, and it's an unfortunate thing. But yeah, Zay Frank had a bizarre way of sharing it. That's the first time I heard about it. So. And then I heard Owen joking about them. I like ducks, right? He says, I like ducks. You know why? Because they can fly. But you know what I also like ducks for? Because they can swim. yet they still choose to walk. That's still been one of my favorite Owen lines. Like, I didn't see it coming at all. And it made me think about that. It's like, they can fly, they can swim, yet they still choose to walk. At any rate, one of my faves. I can't deliver it like that guy. He's too funny. Old Big Bear. Anyway, so away from the ducks, what was I trying to bring up here? I was going to mention Steve's thing, right? I don't know how I got on the ducks. I forget. I don't know what happened there. I have to go back and look at how that happened. There was a reason. At any rate, so Steve was talking about patriotism last night. And one of the things that I thought about, I didn't have time to call in, and I will tell you, I did my run yesterday. I went about 2 miles worth of running yesterday afternoon. I was wiped. And then I go and do laser tag with my boys, and I was like extra wiped when I came back from that. I was listening. I was trying to stream some of the show and listen a little bit, but I was busy trying to get ready for sleeping or relaxing or something. And I was not focused as much as I'd like to have been. I would have called in, and then when I was thinking about calling in, someone else had already called. So I was like, well, I'll talk about it in the show tomorrow, what I was thinking. And Steve, I'd be glad to come back and talk about things. I'll save that for, well, Thursday I've got a rehearsal, so I'll probably end up missing some of that. We'll see. I'll try to get back in there one of these days if I have worthwhile thought. But the thought that I had, it wasn't a big one, so I didn't think to share it because it wasn't like something I could talk about for 20 minutes. And you're like, you can talk about anything for 20 minutes plus. Patriotism. George Washington. And most of you are probably like, duh. Of course he's patriotic, or he was. That's an obvious example of patriotism. But in particular, having been recommended to read, it was recommended to me that I should read years ago a book called The Real George Washington. And I think it was Glenn Beck, you sit out there watching airplanes watch them in a truck for hours at a time, and you'll catch some of the Beck show or the reruns of it at night times back in the day, years ago when I was doing this. And I probably don't gravitate to the show as much anymore, that's for sure. But I catch it from time to time. Still think he's a decent guy. But yeah, he did recommend in his show many times, study history, learn as much as you can. And inspired me to read more on guys like Ben Franklin and George Washington. And I've scratched the surface on a lot of this. There's a lot more to go. But one of the things he recommended was this book, The Real George Washington. And one of the bits in there that still gets me when I read it, because he's talked about this more than once, and others have as well. There was a point in time where after the Revolutionary War, let's see here now. After the Revolutionary War, the Congress was not doing well financially, and so they were not figuring that they'd be able to pay our troops. And a lot of troops were like, oh, heck no. I've been away from family. I haven't been able to do the farming. I've not been able to bring in crops and do other things that would have brought me money back home. And now you're going to tell me that you're not going to compensate me for my time, at least, right? Something after everything we went through. Hello, Valley Forge, right? And Washington was there. I mean, he knew what that was like. There's that painting of him going off in prayer. That was captured, just in a moment that was captured of him, like, was desperately sad for what was happening. I mean, his wife came out in the midst of Valley Forge to help bring blankets or other things that would help the guys get through their wintering. Horrific conditions, just awful. We can't even imagine, right? I'm going to dig that book out, find it somewhere, and find that section that about the Valley Forge that really struck me there. But what was more striking to me was this whole concept of those troops, like, absolutely livid that they were going to be put through all this and then not compensated. And many of them were thinking of marching, on the Capitol there and letting them have a piece of their minds. Many of them thinking, we're going to demand it and we're going to come guns blazing. There was probably going to be bloodshed, and it wasn't going to be good. So Washington got wind of this. One of the guys that was connected with the troops that were banding together about this, he got word to Washington. He said, look, they're this close. They're this close to like just losing it. Would you be willing to come and speak? Yeah, by the way, Turn. Yes, Inspector Bear. Yeah, I want to watch more of that Turn series because I've only seen like the first episode of it or so, and I think it's on Netflix, but I don't have access to Netflix at the time being. This is probably good for me. I get more accomplished that way. So yeah, they're gonna have a meeting. These troops that want to, for lack of a better term, mutiny in a sense against Congress. They want to march on the Capitol and say, "Where's our pay?" Right? So Washington comes to where they're at. Fellow to see. That's hilarious. Washington comes to where they're at. And they all still have great respect for General Washington. You know, they're all very much prepared to listen to what he's got to say, but he's going to come and address them, right? And he comes up to the front of the room. Everybody's wrapped with attention at this point, and he stands up there and he's going to read a speech that he had prepared, and he pulls that out to speak to them, to hopefully with his words turn their hearts. And so he's struggling. He's trying to get through it, and then eventually he just has to pull out his glasses. You know, the guy can barely see. I mean, his body took a beating through a lot of the stuff he went through. He was not, he's not at the best of health by any means, but he's pulling out his glasses, you know, and he says, I apologize. You know, he's struggling to do this. I apologize. I've nearly lost my vision in service to my country. And he continues to read his speech, but not a word is spoken by anybody else. And there's not a dry eye left in that house, in that building, by the time he's done. And they changed their whole intention. They said they're going to be patient. They're going to work through it because of his words and his determination and his example that he was as broken as he was. And yet he was still faithful. He was still saying, all right, I'm going to believe in this whole thing that we're trying to do with this country, right? That's a patriot. It's basically like someone who recognizes the importance of the family, right? I think that to me, that would be the bigger definition. Someone who recognizes that regardless of the fact that we all have different ideas, different worldviews and things like that, if we are a part of this country, right? If we choose to be here and exist here, right? Then the important thing is the family, the country, right? And if we can help remind each other in some way, shape, or form that we are a part of this family, right? Then maybe, just maybe, we'll be willing to stop being stupid, right? About the dumb things we can stop being dumb about for a few minutes and say, okay, let's see what we can do to keep the family going, right? If we can recognize the value and benefits of being part of this family together, this country together, if we can be well aware of how this country in particular does have exceptionalism, you know, in certain ways, that no other country on the face of the earth right now has free speech available to its citizens in the way that this country does. And we're looking at our next door neighbor, right? Canada, where certain things are now illegal. It's just been a couple of years, just a couple of years. I mean, that's wild. That's wild how different that can become, you know, but it's just a different story that they have, and they may have different concepts of valuing those freedoms. So a patriot is someone who recognizes, I think, that this is a family, and to keep the heart of the family in the way that you relate with others. I think is massively important. Doesn't mean you're not going to like get massively pissed off at people for being stupid, and it's appropriate. But if at any cost you can bring back their heart to remember the family, go for it. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes it won't happen, right? And sometimes maybe somebody who is dead set against the family but wants to act like they're part of it, even though they're not, you might have to let them make an example of themselves. Let them evidence themselves. That clearly happens and has to happen. But she must have faced and ultimately bitch. I could get into these serious little like montages here. Montage, that's not the word. Monologues, that's the word I wanted. And then one of you will say something hilarious in the chat window. And I just keep it small off to the side. But I take a glance every now and then, and it's pretty funny. So yeah, that's my thought of Patriots. Hey, Axe Bear John. You're a different Axe Bear than the other one that I know about. There's a couple Axe Bears out there, I think. Or are you the same Axe Bear? And you've just got a different profile pic now. Welcome to Wrench Life, because I saw you in Steve's thing the other night. And we have to bring you into this family as well. So welcome. Yes. Colonial Laser Tag Math. So earlier in the show, please feel free to go backtrack, but I was talking about taking my kids to laser tag for celebrating my oldest son's birthday coming up this weekend. And yeah, they'd never done that before, so it was a lot of fun. They whooped my butt, surprisingly. I really thought that I would have had them, but yeah, looks like they got me. Hey, Feather. Good to see you. I'm sorry we didn't get you in here sooner. Yeah, because I'm getting ready to land the plane, so to speak, as Owen likes to say. Sovereign, you're here too. That's cool. Got a bunch of awesome folks up in here today. I always enjoy having you. Yeah, it's good to see Feather. It's good to see Kikya and Axe Bear John. And then Sovereign, Fellow de Sea, Kikya Martin. I already said Kikya. Andrew J. I don't know if I'm French. Let's see here. Just looking back at some chat that I may have missed earlier. Yeah, I totally could paint this wall green, Mayor. I'm just looking at your old comment there. Whoa, Mr. Nicktown. Our puppy beat our cat. Well, yeah, I don't expect that a cat's gonna eat too many hot dogs. I mean, they'll rock it, but you see the way the cat eats. That's the way a cat eats. Dogs are. There's some YouTube video out there. It was Facebook that my wife shared a while back, and it was this lady who got an ice cream cone for her dogs to share. Right? Got a little vanilla ice cream cone, and she tells one dog, "You're not gonna eat right away. You're gonna leave it. You're gonna leave it." And she lets the other dog, who just licks it, right? Just licks it. Why do I make the other dog wait? She says. And the first dog licking has all that it wants, basically, because this is what happens. Okay, go ahead. The whole cone, gone. One chomp. I mean, we're talking an ice cream cone, like that tall. Gone. Gone. Hilarious. All right, I'm way far away. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I haven't seen your cats, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Mayor. I don't think that Beck is all bad in that way. I mean, I haven't seen some of his more recent stuff, but I heard people say right after the election that he went leftist because he was like, maybe Hillary would have been a better choice because he was that concerned about Trump and everything like that. But, you know, he was concerned in a lot of ways. He had Samantha Bee on his show and he was trying to make inroads. I'm going to answer your Murder, She Wrote question in just a moment, Kick Ya. I want to get to that. Murder, She Wrote, yes or no? I'll just answer that now. Yes. I grew up on that. Love that show. It was hilarious. William Wyndham played the doctor on that series after, I guess, so many years into it. Dad had connections with some of these people that would come out to the college, into Illinois Central College for different things. And William Wyndham, for whatever reason, was in town, and Dad was involved with taking care of him while he was here, making sure he was set at a hotel and all that kind of stuff. And he came over to our home and ate dinner with us. And my brother and I were supposed to go get into our bath after dinner. And of course, being the young little children we were, ran around the house naked because we were obnoxious little little cusses at the time. And so, yeah, I was naked in front of the doctor from Angela Lansbury's show, the Murder, She Wrote. So there you go. Yeah, Murder, She Wrote's awesome. Let's see. Glenn Beck put a MAGA hat on recently. That's awesome. Am I getting a donation right now? Is that a joke, or did somebody PayPal me and I didn't know it? I'll find out. I haven't pulled up my PayPal on here for a while, so let's do that. If that's what you were saying. Because if so, I will read them and say thank you. I don't know. I have to pull it up. It's kind of not my friend sometimes. There we go. All right. So, or wait a second. Hey, guess what? Hey, that's pretty awesome. Hey, maybe this time I won't read your name out loud when I read it. How about that? All right. Just because I'm a Murder, She Wrote fan. That's awesome. I thought maybe there was a message attached, so get the details. Oh, there might be. Yeah, I totally did. I totally doxed Kick Ya, but y'all don't have to remember that. It's not important. Oh, that's right. I changed my password on that, so I have to type it in the new way. Yeah, I try to do that kind of stuff regularly. Try to practice good cybersecurity habits, as all of you should as well. I don't know. I have to log into my PayPal app. That's what I need to do. I have an app. It should come up right away. So I wasn't using the app. I was trying to open it online on the website. That should work. Let's see. Sometimes I type the wrong letters because I have big fat fingers. Oh, that's what I didn't do. Okay, I figured it out. There we go. Because I wanted to just make sure this is actually in the thing. I just saw the email. Well, thank you, people. Let's see now. Come on now. There's your there's your Murder, She Wrote theme. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, thank you, Kick Ya. I appreciate that. That's very kind. And all that you submit here, whenever you donate to the Big Drum Bear PayPal account, or you look in the description, and there's a product that I offer through what's called affiliate marketing. It's called Neuro 67. It is a brain supplement, otherwise known as a nootropic. If you buy yourself one of those, I do get commission from the Neuro 67 people. They hook me up a little bit. Put a little honey in my pot. Put a little money in our pot, and you can put some honey in your pot. Promo code Big Drum Bear. Gotta wear that. Gotta wear that keeper appropriately, and shave with a specific kind of razor. Certain days of the week. Let's see here, but I love the J's. They're good. The juice. I worship one, so it works out. Anyway, yeah, all of that goes into improving this, right? I do whatever I can to make this better, right? A better experience for you guys. Set myself up to make this better. And get ready, because there's going to be an album. There's going to be music coming. Like I was talking about yesterday, I was inspired in the middle of the night, and I wrote a song, and that is getting produced as we speak. I'm in the process of finalizing that, and going to get that out there on various mediums. I'm also... you also, Andrew J., you need to make sure that you have the seeds for your crisis garden. Your crisis garden. We're going to stop them globalists. We're going to get them kicked the heck out of there. We're going to take the country back over. Gosh dang it, I'm going to, yeah, go Alex Jones on you completely, right? Man. I first saw that guy back in like 04 or 05. And somebody showed me his video he did of the infiltration of Bohemian Grove back in 2000. That was the first I'd ever heard of him. So that was different. I wasn't as familiar with him when he was Bill Hicks back in the... I'm kidding. There's all these like conspiracy videos out there now that have been surfacing in my account about, is Alex Jones really Bill Hicks, the comedian? Every time you walk past frogs, they get ungay. That's hilarious, man. What was I thinking? Yeah. Interesting character. And I always take away a little bit of some of those people. Yeah, I'm just beginning to learn about Bill Hicks comedy now. But there's some compelling, like, conspiracy theory videos about that. Some really compelling ones. And I'm not saying it's true. The verdict's out, and it's still motive, means an opportunity for me. Like, what's the reason? Start with motive. Like, why would that want to be the case? And there could be potentially motive there for Bill Hicks to be Alex Jones now, and that maybe he didn't really die. I don't know. I really don't know. Chuck Norris can ungay frogs from across the country. You ever heard that Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands? They are now the islands. Chuck Norris can win a game of Connect 4 in only 3 moves. He's counted to infinity twice. One of these days I'll have to dig. I don't know if that's a good idea. I thought about digging up this video that I made with a buddy of mine when I was in my last trip to Iraq. The guy I mentioned the other day was the singer for the Surge rock band out of the 3rd Infantry Division band. And yeah, he needs to go back. Bill Hicks needs to rise. At any rate, yeah, I'm sorry. You guys are cracking me up. No, this buddy of mine from Iraq. Wow, I lost the train of thought on that fast. I don't know. I was talking about something to do with something. That one of these days it'll be a show of like, because I've done this once or twice before. I'll be talking about something and then I'll get squirreled in the chat and forget what the heck I was talking about. You heard that I was Joe Rogan? Yeah, I'm also part toe. I'll get squirreled by things in the chat. I'll be on a line of talking about something and I'll forget completely what the heck I was talking about. And then, I'll remember, gosh, I was talking about that thing. I forget what it was now. I have no idea what I was saying. So I'll have to come back later on and finish that. Like, I'll have each in the side of my nose here. I'm not picking, just so you know. I'll have to come back and answer finish some thoughts that I started with. But yeah. I'll have to go back to the videos, figure out what I was talking about. And say, so I started talking about this, and then I started talking about this, and I never finished either of those things. Yeah, we're not the same height. I'm over 6 foot. I'm not hating the world thinking that, I'm taller than I really am. Excuse me. Though I will say, being around someone who's 6'7" is probably intimidating. I've had a guy who was in the same unit as me at the air base here, years ago, and that guy was 6'7", and dear Lord in heaven, like, wow, You know, it's just unbelievable when you meet somebody that's that tall. I met a couple of people. One guy who was 7'1" before. One of my aunt's former boyfriends years ago. The booger sugar. Yeah, that was seriously scratching the side. That's all I was up to. But if I've got to take a dig, if I've got to go dig for gold, I'll just, now you're suspicious. If I go off camera, he's digging for gold. That's what's happening. He's getting the bats out the cave. Dom's probably like being a productive member of society. Yeah, best answers. That's how I suspect he went. Didn't he have his 40th finally? Did he do his 40th video? I think he said he was going to do it, and then it had to get canceled, and then it was scheduled for the next day. Best assumption, 100% of the time Dom died. No, he's just the Noid. Dom is the Noid from Domino's Pizza. So he's too the Noid to be in this video chat. That's what it is. That's another bad one. I love that best answers. Yeah, Norris pushes the world down. That's always been one of my favorites. Chuck Norris's favorite is Chuck Norris's face would have been added to Mount Rushmore, but the granite was too soft for his beard. That's one of his favorites. He's also fond of every night when the boogeyman goes to bed, he checks under his bed for Chuck Norris. That's funny. Let's see here. His Twitter, huh? Yeah, well, that'll happen. Yeah, streaming, I think, for a lot of us is a good thing. Those of us that do it, it's a really good outlet. Like for Pender, for Tyler Vetbear, for Mayor when you do it, for Spiel the Bears, for a lot of us, it's been a really neat outlet, and we're kind of building on ourselves. We're building what kind of product we can offer with this kind of thing. I never thought that I'd get into, any kind of broadcasting or anything like that regularly. I thought I wanted to release videos of my drumming and different things like that. But that whole thing has changed, so much. Opportunities that I never considered have grown because I pushed into this. Like, I've watched a ton of different information about how to build online business, to grow at things like that. I'm learning more and more about that all the time. I'm trying to get better at how I can create different streams of income through my music, through my educational stuff, but also through what I like to do most of all, which is just jabber constantly. I never shut up. No. And then I talk less in my personal life because I get a lot of it out here. I'm able to just have the floor for a little while, and you guys actually are interested to come and listen, which is wild. There are people actually interested to hear what I have to jabber about. So it's really cool for a lot of us to be able to do that and have people who are willing to listen. I think it's useful, and if we continue to grow and develop the craft of doing this and doing it well and making it more of an enjoyable experience for those of you that are willing to come here, then we're more likely to grow and we can do something with this. Maybe we could make it a viable source of revenue as time goes on, And again, not that you all would be customers in that way, but that you become patrons in a sense, that you are patrons of what we have to offer. You are colleagues with us in this world. You are part of the American family, or if you're abroad, if you're out and about, you're still part of the Bears family, right? So we're seeing each other grow, and encouraging each other to do that. It's kind of like an accountability forum, right? Because I've made a commitment to try and do this every day, I actually get up and try to do it. Like, I have so many of you that are expecting me to be doing a show weekday mornings. They're expecting to come hear some Big Drum Bear stuff. And so because of that, Keisha, you guys are whacking me up. Or Jack, cracking me up. Wow, that didn't sound good in either case there. Yes, I agree, Andrew J. You all need to be owners of a Love Chunkery or a commie shirt, which is coming, right? Waiting for Steve to throw out some of the ideas. I'm sure he'll email me with that when he's got some. But of course, he has life as well. So Hopefully by this weekend, we'll have some ideas thrown at us, and I can go ahead and create a shirt. Hey, broad. Yeah, you're broad, see? Yeah, I drop in a 1940s diction often. That's the way I talk. And I also suddenly become from the boroughs of New York. There he is. He's still around here. Steve, did you say that you used to be a New Yorker or a, Eastern Illinois or Eastern Americaner? I can't recall if you said you used to be from the New York area. Michael Phelps doesn't swim. He beats the water into submission till it concedes to take him to where he wants to go. That's a good one, Mr. Nicktown. I like that. New Englander. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Eastern Americaner. Rhode Island. Yeah. From the Bronx. You broad. Oh, man. You guys are cracking me up. Well, let's see. It's been about an hour here, and I should probably land the plane. But I think what I'll commit to do now is to go back through a few more episodes, and I've got some thoughts about things that I started talking about that I haven't finished. One I'll do right now. So I did mention a band. I'd love to play music of theirs on the way out. I don't think I can do that today, but I'll see if I can give it a go. A band called... oh, you know what? No, it's not going to happen today. It's a band called Lost and Found. If you haven't ever heard of them, you need to go check them out. I had a shirt of them on a while back. Not today, but a while back. Axbear, I'm going to put some more of my music up. I don't have it, a lot of it completed. A lot of it's still in GarageBand unfinished. But it's coming. I've got a couple different songs that are coming relatively soon, within the next month, I hope. That's a goal right there. You heard it. Within the next month, I want to have a song fully released, if not sooner. But yeah, in the meantime, go check out speedwood.com. Speedwood.com, just like it sounds. And you need to check it out. George Baum, Michael Bridges, great guys, hilarious. I highly recommend all of their catalog. Not as much of their stuff on YouTube as I would like, but there's some of it out there. And yeah, I found out about them when I was a kid. And they're probably one of the coolest bands of all time, highly influenced by those guys. They put a lot of influence into my musical mind. I have live streams playing Rock Band on Wii. Yeah, that's what I've got going. That's hilarious. Axberry, you can check out some drum solos if you go to the Steady in Time YouTube channel. It's all one word, Steady in Time. And that's here on YouTube, my other channel. I've never really done much with it. I started to load some drum solo videos here and there, and eventually I'll bring them over to this channel. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't count. No, I have some music that I've written here and there, and I've shared a little bit of it over the show, but it's not uploaded anywhere. I don't have a SoundCloud catalog or anything like that. Whatever I produce, I want it to be, growing some revenue. I want it to earn for itself. That's the plan. So I'd like to have an album's worth of stuff ready to go. But yeah, check out Lost and Found and look at their catalog. Like the last album they put out was called We Are With You. And it was a good album. It was a very good album. They finally were able to add drums and bass and everything like that. What they've heard in their head, their whole 30+ year career. Interesting cats. They have some wild voices. But yeah, that's something I started to talk about and didn't finish a couple days ago. So there you go. Got part of it done. Yeah, if we could, best answers, if we could get online bands together to jam across the internet, we'd all have to have way better internet connections and like zero latency so we could hear each other in real time and not screw it up. That's possible, but it just takes a little bit of doing, like, and money. So that would be interesting. Yeah, John, I'm definitely going to check you out, man. Are you the same Axe Bear that I'm friends with on Facebook? Or are you a different Axe Bear? Because there's another Axe Bear, but he went by Axe Bear. Not Axe Bear John. So, yeah, for sure, man. for sure. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. You're a different axe bear, so cool. I always enjoy. There's more than one axe bear out there. You're axe bear John, so you're different. Um, no, you're not. You're not the same one. You're a different guy. You're not from Canada, are you? Can you say that? Can you localize yourself to one country? Hey, Tommy Lee. You just getting here, man? Because you're getting here right at the end, dude. um, that's funny. Okay, so you're the non-Canadian axe bear. That's hilarious. At any rate, so I'm gonna get some things done. I'm gonna go finish doing some more recording for that tune and others. But in the meantime, engage your mind, engage your body, engage your heart. Seek to serve the ultimate purpose. Thanks so much, Bears, for coming out and supporting the show. And be sure to go give some love and support comments to Tyler Vet Bear. Let him know how much he means being in this community. Peace to all of you.